Friends, welcome to the Congregational Church in Boothbay Harbor, Maine. As we say every Sunday, we extend God's extravagant welcome to you. No matter who you are, no matter where you are on life's journey, no matter whom you are welcome to this time of Sabbath and worship together. As I was preparing for today, I was thinking about last week, if you were listening in to the service, that my focus was on love your enemies. And wouldn't you know that now the rubber meets the road, and we have to struggle of how do you love enemies in the face of death and of evil? And it's an age-old question and bigger than we can answer in one sermon or story. But I was thinking how next week on Wednesday we begin Lent with Ash Wednesday. And the words, remember that thou art dust and to dust you shall return. And we have 46 days, counting Sundays, to reflect more deeply, to be confessional in this time of broken human solidarity and warfare. How shall we do the work of restoring the common good? When war breaks out, it says we've failed to do so. What is our small part? As we hear Jesus' prayer for the disciples when he said that they may all be one. Our United Church of Christ motto, how do we restore the bonds of human solidarity? Sometimes it's better just to tell a story. And I have a brief story, maybe a little sermon, if you will. That in 1984, I was in Kyiv. 1984, that was in the middle of the Cold War, the rhetoric of the evil empire. And it was in January, it was just a few weeks after a Korean jetliner had been shot down by a Russian fighter jet. So things were very tense, and I was on a tour, a 3-week tour of the Soviet Union with a college class. And I remember being in Kyiv because it wasn't quite so tense as being in Moscow, where we were kind of tightly shuttled around. But in Kyiv, we could talk to people on the street and trade blue jeans for vodka and things like that. And I was a Baptist then, I didn't drink. But I decided I just wanted to get out and see things by myself. And I was riding the trolley through Kyiv at night. And a Russian soldier approached me. You know, he was in full uniform and a big fur hat. And the soldier walks up to me and he says, "Sprechen Sie Deutsch?" I said, "No, I speak English." "Oh, I speak little English. You are Australian?" "No." "You are from the UK?" "No." "Ah, you must be Canada." "No, I'm an American." And he had a shocked look of horror on his face. And he actually took a step backwards, and his eyes were big and wide. It's 1984. There were Americans traveling to the Soviet Union, and he'd heard all the same kind of rhetoric of the evil American empire, right? And he catches himself and he says, "Well, that is not good or bad." Okay. So I didn't know any Russian. He had exhausted most of his English phrases at that point. But the train stopped, and he said to me, "I make you happy now. I leave." And I was kind of stunned. I just shocked into silence for a moment that I thought, wow, here we are trying to break through, and him assuming that I would hate him, that I would want him to leave. And he walked away before I could figure out what to do. And I shouted up to him, and you don't do that in Russia. It's very impolite to shout in public. You shout behind closed doors. But I said, "Comrade, comrade." And he turned and he looked at me. And in fact, the whole train is looking at me at this point, right? And I said, "Peace." And a smile lit up his face. And he said, "Da, peace." Well, it's a simple little story. It doesn't change much. But it was important to me at the time, and what it's meant to me these last 30 years is the importance of trying to find that human solidarity. And what I take away from that is, when we are called to love our enemies, we need to remember who's our enemy and who's not. He was not my enemy, nor was I his. And the Russian people are not our enemy, and we are not theirs. And many Russian people today are risking their lives to protest this war. And we're inspired by them. And so, warfare has broken out. We must do our soul searching. And think again, how do we find the way to have human solidarity, that all may be one? And our prayers are with the people of Ukraine and the people of Russia, both who will suffer consequences from this war. Our heart goes out to them. Amen. Friends, welcome again to worship. I'm glad you're all here. We take time at the beginning of every service to welcome those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on cable. We always stand and wave, and we've been trying to think of specific people out there who we know you're watching. Today when we stand and wave, we're waving to all of you at St. Andrew's down the street. I was able to do my first service at St. Andrew's Nursing Home on Tuesday, the first time in 3 years that I could go into a nursing home and do a service. And so we send our greetings. May we stand together. Welcome all of you, especially folks at St. Andrew's, all of you watching. We're glad you're here. Hope you're waving back at us. Let us go ahead and begin worship with our opening hymn.